Welcome, my beloved friends, to another sacred offering of the Reclamation, a place where you return to truth, your wholeness, and your inner knowing. Today, we are entering the soft, powerful waters of trust. Let us begin not with the reflection, but with remembrance. I'm Paula Collins, your Magdalene Sound Priestess and Spirituality Mentor, and I am so excited to take you on this little journey today of remembrance. So we're going to start with the etymology and the soul of the word trust. As a retired English teacher, I love words. I really do. I love words. I love to know where they come from. I love to know maybe why they came into being. And I love to know the deeper part of what is behind them. So the word trust finds its roots in the Old Norse word traust, meaning help, confidence, protection. And the Proto-Germanic truas, which means to be firm, solid, and faithful. That's a lot to unpack when you think about it. Traust meaning help, confidence, and protection. Meaning that when you trust someone, you know that those qualities of trust, confidence, and protection are symbiotic with each other. Or if we look at the Proto-Germanic truas, to be firm, solid, and faithful. And when you think about that, it is this beautiful deepness of this word that really gets lost. It really gets lost because trust isn't just a feeling. It's a sacred structure. Think about that. It's a sacred structure. It's something that is built. It is something that has a foundation. It is something that allows us to feel the firmness, the solidity, the confidence, the protection, the health, help, and the faithfulness of another person or of a situation, right? It's a stronghold for us. It's a place where we stand when everything else feels uncertain, when it feels wobbly, when it feels like we can't quite find the footing that we're looking for. We can return to this, and it becomes the soil of our becoming who we are desiring to be, how we want to show up in this world. So, what does trust really look and feel like? Let's take it in ways that maybe we can feel it. Okay? It's that soft exhale after holding your breath. And think about what that means to have this beautiful soft exhale because you've been holding your breath because of life's circumstances or situations that you've been in or people that you've been around or something that you are trying to heal from or overcome, and you finally get to exhale. Or it could be your heart opening up after fear has gripped it so tightly that it's closed up because you've been betrayed, because you've been heartbroken. So it's this idea of my heart can soften. I can let some of the barriers and the walls down. It doesn't have to feel so heavy. Or It can be that moment you let yourself fall into something unseen and you don't flinch. You don't have to know what's coming next because you trust yourself to take that next step, to cross over that threshold. And that is important because we don't want to stay in a little box. We want to be able to explore, to feel adventure, to be excited about that. And we can embody this beautiful, beautiful quality of trust by letting ourselves be seen as who we are, taking the mask off and just being the real you, that amazing human being that you were created to be, letting yourself be seen like that and trusting that the people who truly love you, the people who truly support you are going to be there to hold you in that. And to allow yourself to release when the barbs come at you, right? Just let them fall. Understanding that not everybody is your person. And that is okay. That is okay. We can embody trust when we choose rest instead of giving into the hustle of everything. When we say, you know what, no, I'm putting on the brakes. I'm going to stop and I'm going to allow myself to just be, even if it's for 5 minutes, to connect with your breath, to connect with your grounding, to connect with the divine. Choosing that moment of rest. Rest doesn't have to be 3 hours. Rest can be 5 to 10 minutes. It can be 20 minutes, right? Choosing that for you because you understand how important you are. Trust can be embodied by listening to your intuition, even when your logic disagrees. Because logic is based upon past experiences. Logic is based upon things that have been proven to some extent. But sometimes our intuition in our mind and in our heart and in our gut knows what's right for us. So listening to that and trusting your intuition to guide you. How many times have you not listened to your intuition and then afterwards wish you had? You listen to that little voice or that clinch in your gut, right? That's important to learn to trust that. Trust can be embodied when we speak our truth out loud. We use and open up that beautiful throat chakra and we speak our truth out of the love and compassion that is in our heart. We speak our truth because we deserve to be heard. Our opinions matter. Your opinions matter. Your ideologies and beliefs matter. Your values matter. And you are allowed to speak those out loud. If you are looking for permission, you just received it. And truth is embodied in taking the next step without knowing the whole path. Sometimes we have to step out in faith, right? We have to. Because if we don't take that chance, we will never know. And you can come up with all the, well, what if, and have all the bad come down on you. But you can change and flip that narrative to the what if, and think of all the amazing things that could happen if you take that next step. If you allow yourself and you trust yourself to step over the threshold Something big, beautiful, amazing, vibrant, vivacious, spectacular is waiting for you. But you will never know it unless you embody trust. See, trust is this quiet voice inside that whispers to us, I am held, I am safe, and I am not alone. But of course, we have blocks and we have barriers to this idea of trust. Because let's face it, trust doesn't come easy for many of us. Some of us may have been taught very early on that vulnerability equals danger. And that trust is something you earn, not something you embody. But here's the thing. Vulnerability does not always equal danger, because vulnerability allows us to be real. It allows us to show our true self. And so maybe, just maybe, we just do that in the beginning with people that we trust, that we know are still going to love us even after they hear the ugly. And the more we get comfortable with doing that, the easier it becomes, right? And you do not have to earn trust. You do not have to earn trust. You are allowed to embody it. You are allowed to call that energy in, and you are allowed to let it be a part. It's not something that you go searching for, you grab on and you try to hoard it. It is something that you can embody. And once you embody that and it becomes a real part of who you are, then you are able to allow that trust to expand beyond you. But we develop armor, don't we? We are so good at developing armor. We show it through hyper independence. I can do it all. I don't need any help. I'm good. No, you don't have to help me with that. I got it covered. I can do it all by myself, because maybe in the past you asked somebody and they didn't show up for you. And you've decided it's me against the world and I have to do it all by myself. So you've developed this, you have honed it, you have perfected this idea of being so hyper independent that you don't need anybody else. But you know what happens with hyper independence? It causes loneliness. And you forget how to welcome in help. You forget how to ask for help. And here's the thing. When we allow somebody to help us, we are allowing them to use their gifts, and we are celebrating their gifts to help us. Think about that beautiful energy exchange. You ask somebody for help, and they do it in a loving way. And you allow them to use their gifts. What a gift that is to somebody. We develop the armor of perfectionism. And I know all about this one. Believe me, I know all about this one, because at one point, I would have never created a podcast, because I would have wanted it to be perfect, without any coughs, without any stumbles, without anything else. Or perfectionism, that your house has to look a certain way when you welcome people in, because if anything is out of order or out of the ordinary, somebody might think differently about you. I have news for you. Even if your house is perfect, when somebody comes in, somebody's going to come in and they're still going to judge you. So stop with the perfectionism, because the perfectionism is paralyzing you. It is paralyzing you, my friends. Or we have this idea that we have to be in control of everything that happens, because if we're not in control, something's going to go wrong, or it's not going to go the way we wanted it to be. I remember when I was in college, oh my gosh, I would be the lead on all of our class projects or whatever group projects. I was in the lead because I wanted to make sure that nobody was going to screw with my grade. Do you know how exhausting it is to always have to be in control, to never let your guard down? Do you know how exhausting that is? You probably do if you've been there. It is so exhausting. It is so exhausting. It's nice to take the lead, but you can take the lead without being in complete control. We cannot control every situation. We can't control every outcome. We certainly can't control other people. The only thing that we have control over is the way we show up and respond. We can only have control over ourselves, and sometimes it's an illusion that we even have control there. Because stuff happens, life happens. And then there's this other thing that we do where we have this fear that we're too much or that we're not enough. It's either end of the scale. There's nothing in between. There's no gray matter. We're either too much, we're too loud, we're too wild, we're too out there, or we're not enough and we'll never be enough and we won't measure up. But this is armor. This is armor that we put on, that we have created, that we think protects us. And to some extent, it might protect us. Who knows? But to a larger extent, it leaves us alone. It leaves us lonely. It leaves us depleted. It leaves us feeling lack. We silence our inner knowing because we were told that we can't trust that you shouldn't trust that inner knowing. But you know what? That inner knowing is based upon the beauty of everything that you have learned, everything that you've overcome, everything that you've encountered. And that inner knowing is so freaking amazing. But we silence that. And we even question the messages of our own bodies. We walk into a room and we walk around somebody and we don't feel good about it, but we stay there because we do not trust that. We do not trust that our bodies can feel when something is off. Because maybe we were told that our emotions are too much or our feelings are too much. And then we stop trusting ourselves completely. And by extension, we stop trusting everything that is sacred. We stop trusting. But here's the thing. We have to trust ourselves first. We have to learn to trust ourselves, because if we cannot trust ourselves first, who can we trust? It has to begin with us. It's the first bridge we cross when we learn that trust begins within us. It begins with choosing to believe that our body knows, that our feelings are valid, and that our intuition is so real. And what does it look like when we trust ourselves? We honor our sacred yes and we honor our sacred no. We don't become wishy-washy. We trust that the boundaries that we have set for ourselves are sacred and real and beautiful. It's honoring that. Only saying yes when we really want to do that. And saying no if it doesn't feel right. And yes, I get that sometimes boundaries have to be a little gray because things come up and people need us because of emergency situations. But I'm talking about the everyday things. Talking about the everyday things. Trusting yourself means pausing to listen to that inner knowing, to your body, to your feelings, to your higher self, to the divine. Instead of rushing to fix it, pause to listen. See if there is a better way. Something that doesn't exhaust you. Something that doesn't make you bend your beliefs or bend your values. Because my friends, you don't have to fix everything and you don't have to rush in to fix it. You don't. You don't have to fix everything. You definitely don't have to fix other people. They have to be willing to fix themselves. Trusting your intuition means allowing your emotions to rise and to move without shame. How many times have you swallowed your emotions, kept them hidden because you were afraid? Or maybe in the past, when you had allowed those emotions to rise up, somebody made you feel really bad about it. But see, my friends, emotions aren't good or bad, they just are. And you are allowed to feel the full range of emotions. They are important. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to break down and cry ugly if that's what you want to do. You are allowed to pick up a pillow and punch the living daylights out of it if you need to. You are allowed to scream if you need to do that. You are allowed to throw yourself a dance party. You are allowed to laugh uncontrollably. You are allowed to be happy and joyous. And you are allowed to do that without guilt or shame. You really are. And trusting yourself means reclaiming your inner authority. Your inner authority, your inner you, that part of you that is so sacred, that is so holy. You are allowed to reclaim that. You are allowed to get to know it, and you are allowed to access it. Because it's about creating inner safety so you don't need to outsource your worth. Think about that. It's about creating inner safety so you do not need to outsource your worth. Your worth does not come from anybody else. Your worth comes from inside. Your worth comes from the knowing that you are a sacred, beautiful, divine, holy vessel. Because my beloved, beloved, beloved friends, you are not broken. You are brilliant. And your truth is sacred. And you are on a journey to remembering. You are on a journey to remembering. So once we root into self-trust, we begin to open to something even greater. Trusting the sacred, trusting the unfolding, trusting that even in the dark there is direction, and trusting that your prayers are heard even before they are spoken. Because when we trust the sacred, when we trust that what is unfolding in front of us, and we trust that if what we are moving towards is in alignment with who we are at the core and who we were created to be, that what unfolds is going to be something even better than what we ever imagined. And knowing that even when sometimes we are in the dark and we don't know what's coming ahead and we can't see the road ahead, it's blurry, it's dark, it's out of focus, that when we trust the divine, that's where our direction comes from. When we trust our inner self, that's where the direction comes from. And we can trust, yes, we can trust that the prayers and the manifestations that we put out there are heard even before we speak them into existence. Because the divine, your angels, your guides, God, Jesus, whoever it is, they know. They know the desires of your heart. They want you to speak them, but they know the desires of your heart. The sacred speaks not only in synchronicities, signs, or visions, but it speaks in the stillness. It's in that breath between the thoughts, between the words. It's in the beauty of a sunrise or in the ache of longing. Because when you trust the divine, you begin to move from force to flow. You learn that you don't have to constantly be in this doing, pulling, that you can sit and relax into the flow, and that it's still going to work. You move from anxiety to alignment. So instead of worrying all the time, you say, you know what? This is part of my truth. This is part of my belief. This is part of my values. This is part of who I am. And I'm going to trust it. And you move from surviving to surrendering. And I know surrendering can feel so scary because you feel like you're giving up all of your rights when you surrender. But there is beauty and rest and peace in that surrender because you are saying, I trust that the divine has my back. I trust that the steps that I am taking are going to work out for my highest and better good. And let me tell you that when you trust, your life begins to change in beautiful ways, ways you never believed could happen, because you start to show up differently. When you walk into a room, you're not walking hunched over with a frown on your face. You're walking in confidence. You are walking in with your truth. You are showing up with a brightness about you. And you speak with more softness and strength. You can be strong and soft all at the same time. And it is beautiful. It is wonderful. It's amazing. You allow others to be fully themselves without needing to control their path, because sometimes people have to learn the hard way. And if you've ever been in that situation, you know what I'm talking about. We have to allow others to make mistakes, make their own mistakes, no matter how difficult it is. We have to allow them to make their mistakes. And if that means they get in trouble or they get an F on their test or an F on a report or an F on a project, speaking from personal experience of not running my kids' backpacks or homework to them at school, I stopped doing that. I stopped that. They were controlling me and I was controlling their path. They had to learn the hard way, right? People have to learn the hard way. Now, it doesn't mean if you think somebody is going to do something horrible to themselves that you just sit back and let it unfold. No, I'm talking about in the normal things. You become somebody who approaches challenges with curiosity, not fear. You see that mountain a year ago, 6 months ago, it might have looked insurmountable. But now you look at that mountain, you say, what am I going to discover along the way? What am I going to find out about me? What am I going to be able to prove to myself that I can do? And so you look at these challenges and these obstacles in a whole new way because your entire mindset and perception has changed. And you lead with love, not to prove to everybody else that you can do it. You lead with love, and you lead with a softness and a strength. And that shows people that, you know what, it's okay for me to do this too. You become this living, breathing, beautiful, bright example to other people that it is okay to do this. And you do it without even noticing that you've done it. And then when you see somebody change, you see somebody's life start to unfold in these beautiful ways, and you say to them, wow, you've changed so much and it's amazing. You've grown so much. You've had allowed so much expansion into your life. And they look back at you and they said, because I saw you do it. And you sit in that humbleness and you receive that compliment. And you just say, thank you. And that was not easy for me to learn to do. Because, my beautiful friends, when we do all of these things, trust becomes your home frequency. It just becomes naturally. It's what you always come back to. It's that beacon that draws you back in. And it becomes your home frequency, not because everything is certain and defined and perfect. It's just because you are. And so I want to invite you right now to place both hands over your heart, beautiful heart center. And take a really deep breath in and fill yourself up as completely as you can. And then exhale on this beautiful sigh, as if it is that exhale that you have been holding on to. And you can do it now because trust is something that is coming back into your life. And I want you to whisper softly to yourself, but make sure you say the words out loud, even if it's a whisper. I trust myself. I trust the sacred. I trust the becoming. And so it is said, and so it is done. I want to thank you so much for joining me here, to being here with me. Thank you for taking time to listen to this. Thank you for choosing to remember the beauty that is you, the unfolding that is you, the rediscovering that is you. And if this stirred something within you, please share it with someone you love and let them hear the message. Let them learn about trust in a beautiful way. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a moment of when something comes up. And if you want help getting there, learning this beautiful sacred art of trust and coming home to yourself, drop me a note. Let me know. Say, put an emoji, drop an emoji that says, I need the help. I want the help. Let's have a conversation outside of this. Because I'm not just here speaking to you through your phone or your computer. I'm here to help you to help you grow, to help you trust, to help you become the best you that you can, to help you trust your unfolding, to help you trust your voice, and to help you trust the sacred that is deep inside of you. And so until next time, sending you so much love, sending you so much joy.